Cody and Sami and Paul. Oh my, it's the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on any and all platforms. Let's talk about the WrestleMania elephant in the room. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the United States Intercontinental Undisputed Heavyweight, Lightweight, Cruiserweight Championship of the Globe and Moon. I'm still weird about what this storyline is. That was a weird way to put what I feel. I don't understand the story moving forward with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. The reason for that is that we just came off a 10-month program with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the Bloodline with excellent storytelling, emotions, Sami got the Bloodline over more than they've been over in such a long time, got himself over as possibly the biggest babyface in the company right now. And admittedly, they rushed that title shot with Roman Reigns. And honestly, I don't know if the title shot made a whole lot of sense. If you go back and watch when Sami kind of calls Roman out for the belt, it felt to me a little disingenuous for someone who was so staunchly against turning on the Bloodline for so long. He's like, no, I'm with you guys. No, this, that, and the other thing. He was, very much, an oos, right? He was oosy. And for him to turn on Roman was, inevitable. And that's part of the story worked. But once he says, I want your Universal title, it's like, well, then you're kind of proving Paul Heyman and Jimmy and Jay, or the original Jay, and Roman right by saying all you ever wanted was the belt. All you ever wanted was to destroy the Bloodline. He should have just challenged him to a match. I don't think the belt was necessary because, look, we all knew Cody was going to Mania for that belt. Having Sami challenge for the belt now just felt like a throwaway match. That felt like something we could do later, but it puts, they kind of got it out of the way. He had a competitive match and he lost at Elimination Chamber. So now the road is clear for Cody and Roman to headline WrestleMania. But the fire, the heat of that Bloodline Sami Zayn KO match storyline is still burning. The fallout from that with the Bloodline kind of in shambles. Solo hasn't been on in a while. Jay still isn't, as oozy as I would suspect Roman wants. The Bloodline really does come down to Jimmy, Roman, and Paul Heyman now. And that's all because of Sami and KO. But now we're meant to transition to this Cody Rhodes story where he is battling Roman for the belts for his dad and for his family. And then by, as a proxy, here comes Paul Heyman trying to hype up this match and give it some flavor, some flair, give Cody a reason to want to fight Roman. It feels empty. It feels hollow because there's so much going on with the Bloodline now. Cody feels like he's standing behind everything going, hey, and remember me, I'm coming for that title too. He's cutting really great promos. He's being, Cody Rhodes. He's coming out in his suits and he's doing his thing. But there's something missing. There's a personal element that is not in this storyline that needs to be, because the greatest storylines that the Bloodline and Roman Reigns have had recently are all familiar, story-driven, personal stories. From the formation where Roman was gaslighting Jay to the interplay between all the members of the Bloodline with Sami Zayn to KO getting, pulled in and kind of having that brotherly feud with Sami on the, a little bit on the sidelines, but then also with the Bloodline. Everything that they did there was excellent because they were all personal stories that we can empathize with. I'm sure everyone can empathize with family members that are, a little you don't really want to mess with, but they're your family, so you kind of roll with it. Or getting into a fight with a brother or getting into a fight with your best friend. That's all relatable. But Cody Rhodes has no relatable tether. There's nothing connecting him to Roman. So much so they haven't even met face to face. They haven't exchanged words. They haven't figured out a program where they would feel a certain way. It's one thing for Paul Heyman to cut that crazy promo a couple weeks ago about Dusty Rhodes, but how much of an impact would it have made if Roman did that? Honestly, it wouldn't have been as eloquent and as Paul Heyman-y as Paul Heyman doing it, but having Roman come out and say, hey man, I keep hearing you talking about you're going to take my titles, and that's great, but I just wanted to let you know that all this posturing that you have for your dad and you're going to do it for your dad and blah, blah, blah. I already did it for your dad, man. Your dad trained me. I was his golden child. I was the kid he really wanted. I was the son he wanted. When you were off doing whatever it is the hell you were doing somewhere else, I was there getting trained by the man. I was getting trained by Dusty. I'm his legacy, not you. You're posing. You're trying to capture something that I already did. I captured both of these titles. I've held them for over 900 days, all because of Dusty. I did it for him. I did it for my family, and Dusty is my family, not yours. So welcome back. You're not going to win. I'm the son that Dusty always wanted. You're just the one that he had. Come on, son. Are you telling me that wouldn't just spark something for you? I mean, and then you start pulling in clips of Roman training with Dusty, and you can do a lot with that, but it has to be Roman that says it to Cody to get that ball moving. The fact that Paul is kind of playing in between the two, they work well together, but there's missing that personal touch. Now Cody's just getting angry at Roman via Paul, which is like the people in class and schools telling you that so and so doesn't like you, and you just getting real mad at that person. You've never even talked to them. You don't know. They're just trying to instigate a fight, and then you end up going and he's like, it's you and me, man, we're gonna fight. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't even know who you are. That's what it seems like. That's what it feels like is about to happen. It's about Paul instigating this fight, Cody going up and just like shoving Roman. He's like, hey man, I heard what you said. And Roman's like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about, nor who you are. I have bigger things to think about. I have to find, my cousin and all this stuff. So yeah, I'll see you at WrestleMania, whatever, and I'll pin you. At this point, I don't even want Cody to win at WrestleMania. The story doesn't make sense. It has to make sense for that win to matter. For Roman to hand over both titles to Cody Rhodes at this point makes zero sense. Why give up that bloodline storyline for Cody? Where does it go from there? I think that's the question that most people haven't asked. If Cody beats Roman at WrestleMania, which I think would be a huge upset for me, I need Roman to pin him. If he beats Roman, what is the next thing? Where does he go? Because like I said before, Roman, once he loses those two belts, he's gone. He's going to fade away, go be with his family for a while, chill out, not be on television, and the bloodline will probably pick up the slack. But what happens to that storyline? Where's the resolution for Jay and Jimmy and Solo if Roman loses the belts? The bloodline ends, right? That's the thing. The whole story ends. But why should it end to Cody? And then where does Cody go? He can wrestle anybody for sure, but where does that leave everyone else? Especially Sami Zayn and KO at that point. If they take the tag titles from the Usos, then we're all just in this new meta. And I guess that's where creative comes in. Anyway, how do you feel about the Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, KO, Paul Heyman interplay that's going on television right now? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit the bell, subscribe on any and all platforms, tell your mama about the show, and don't you forget,
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.